Welcome to the session on how to use Gapminder tool. The website is www.gapminder.org. My name is Ziad El-Khatib. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Public Health Sciences at KI, and I'm glad that you are taking this course. And now let's go through Gapminder. I will not explain all the details. I will just explain two items here: the Gapminder tools or bubble and the dollar street. So when you go to this website, gapminder.org, you will see first the opening page, and then here you have a featured YouTube for the book called Factfulness by Hans Rosling, Ola, and Anna, his son and his daughter-in-law. Here you can, when you scroll down, you will see different links to different types of either presentations, like here Ola talking about how is it the views of the world regarding global health, and then here you have Dollar Street, and then here you have the Gapminder bubbles. So when you click on play with the data, it will open a new link. Here you go. This is the Gapminder bubbles. On your left hand side, on the vertical line, you can usually by default you have life expectancy, but also you can choose other variables. I will show you later some examples. On the horizontal line, you have also another variable. In this case here, usually by default, you have the income level, GDP per capita, where they have adjusted for inflation. On your right hand side, you have the world regions. So you can see every region has different color, and they are reflected here in the bubbles. So if I put the mouse cursor over Africa, which it includes North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, you see on your left hand side bubbles that they are blinking, and these are the countries in this part of the world. Here you have the list of countries, and for example, if I put the mouse cursor over Algeria, you will see on your Gapminder Algeria is being highlighted, and you see exactly here's Algeria. You see the life expectancy is 77.9 on your left hand side, the vertical line, and on the horizontal line you have the income level. The bubble size, it reflects here the population size of this country. You can also choose other indicators. If you click on this arrow, you can choose another variable. So here, what does this picture tell us? That life expectancy is increasing over income, GDP level. Now, this data comes from year 2018. This is the number here that shows up in the background of the slide. When you scroll down, you see also other types of graphs. You can switch to income, or you can switch to maps. The page can be slow a little bit because it's a lot of data that needs to be extracted. Also, you can switch to trends. The difference here, for example, in trends, it shows you one variable. It's taking some time. Okay, so this is an example by default for the United States, for Russia, China, and Nigeria, to see over years their GDP. You can see, and the data goes back to 1800. Of course, this is based on some modeling as explained in the other lecture. So I will go back to the bubbles. Here you go. Now, let's say we want to look at life expectancy and income in 3 countries. Here I chose India, Iran, and Sweden. I switched to another tab where I have chosen these 3 countries. And I want to look at it since 1990, how the data looks like. Gapminder has a very nice option. It calls trails, where you can play the data. Sorry, I will switch back here. So here, this bar here, you can go back in time. So let's say I want to go back to 1970. And then I want to look at Australia and Iran and Austria and let's choose a country from South America, Brazil. There you go. You can scroll these labels, and then once you highlight these countries, you can see the rest is in light color, and then you can click on the button play, so you can see the trail of the change happening over years. So here we have Iran, and here we have Austria in the yellow, and here we have Australia. Now you can also zoom in. You have here the option of zooming in. You click on this magnifier sign with a plus sign on it, and you can just scroll over here and then magnify it. There you go. Then again. And then again. There you go. Okay, so you can see the changes happening over time for between income in Brazil and life expectancy. So the income is increasing in Brazil as well as life expectancy. In Iran, you can see that there was a setback during the revolution in terms of income. It went down, and of course the life expectancy went down a little bit, and then it's picking up again. So today, in 2018, you can see life expectancy in Iran is 76.5, which is comparable to Australia in 86 and comparable to Austria in 1990, in the early 90s. And here you can see how Australia and Austria, they are quite comparable in their life expectancy. So you can see here that Iran and Brazil are quite comparable to each other as well in terms of life expectancy. Brazil, they managed to have life expectancy similar to Iran, but in an income lower than Iran. So this is also another question, how much investment is happening in access to healthcare, for example. I have prepared another example here on this other tab to compare India to Iran and to Sweden, and to look also at life expectancy and income since the 90s. So let's check the trail, how it looks like. So back in 1990, you can see that India was a low-income country, Iran middle-income country, and Sweden high-income country. Now India is approaching the middle-income country category. Iran income has increased a little bit as well. And you can see that there is a nice progress happening in India in terms of life expectancy and income. In Sweden, there is an increase. So today, Iran has a life expectancy of 76.5, which is a little bit similar to Sweden in 1990. So there is an amazing progress that happened as well here. India, they managed to increase their life expectancy from 59 to almost 70. So 10 years increase in a period of 28 years, which is also, it shows you the progress happening, how much the Indian government is working hard on this progress. I will switch gears here to another example. People living with HIV and income. So here you have, in terms of people living in HIV in India in 1990, you have 250,000. In South Africa in 1990, you had 100,000, because in 1990, that was just before the apartheid ended in South Africa. The HIV epidemic did not kick in yet in that part of the world. And then in the United States, in 1990, they had 810,000. So actually, when it comes to the actual number of HIV patients in the world, in 1990, the US had the highest number, not in terms of a prevalence, but in terms of a unique number. And then you have the three income categories here: India 1990 low income, South Africa middle income, US high income. Now let's see over years what happened. And also please bear in mind the bubble size. It reflects the total number of people living in this country. Okay, so let's see how things turned around. You can see India, the HIV epidemic started to increase, and then actually India made an innovation in pharmaceutical industry to start generating medicine that it costs $1 per day. So you can see here how they started to really control the epidemic and to have people living with HIV under treatment without any problem. South Africa eventually started to also pick on it as well. The US, there is a mild increase happening for people living with HIV. They started with their intervention with antiretroviral therapy quite earlier, but then also this here, the data from South Africa and India, it reflects the inequity in global health when it comes to access to treatment. You can see here in the US, the access to treatment happened quite earlier, at an early stage in the epidemic, than in South Africa and in India. But still in India, look how they managed to really make it under control quite smoothly, like since the 90s, and then here you have 2009, the most recent data as well. So this is an example for the HIV control. Now, if I want to look at the prevalence of HIV, you just click here on this arrow, and then I can search here for HIV. Here's the folder, and then the one in the red color, it means that that's the active variable, people living with HIV. But actually, I would like to look at adult with HIV prevalence percentage 15 to 49. Here we go, click on it, loading the data. The countries should remain the same, South Africa and India. Let's go back to 1990. There we go. Scroll down, 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 down. Okay, let's see how things will turn around here. So remember, this is a prevalence of adults with HIV. Here we go. See the prevalence has going really up so fast in South Africa, how the HIV epidemic was spreading. This is just after the apartheid, after Nelson Mandela became the first president of the democratic country of South Africa. Look here. And then after the antiretroviral therapy rollout, and then when India started to the idea of having antiretroviral therapy for $1 a day, this really made a huge revolution around the world in terms of access to therapies. You can see here that how the epidemic became under control, and then here you can see how it started to grow in India, and then look here how it's under control as well. So you can have different types of indicators. You can look at it here in this tool. It's a very nice tool. I really highly encourage you to look at it.